essentially opportunities that are arbitrage or that can easily be captured from the environment and executed upon, instead of creating this complex process and all these different things you got to do just to eventually and inevitably hit the same outcome, the same level of profitability that you could have hit had you had shifted your thinking more into a different direction where you move only on advantages. Okay, and again, your troops and your people are valuable resources. You have to be able to move towards an advantage as quick as possible so you can get that outcome, so you can gather more resources, so you can build your troops further, and then the same applies to them. You have to instill that philosophy in them. And a lot of times, fighting is not necessary. Sun Tzu talked about this. Even though this book is about war, essentially the ideal goal is to win the war without any casualties, or to win the war with the fewest amount of casualties. Not just brute force go at it. This is strategy. Strategy is not done that way. So you don't need to fight battles unless it's absolutely critical, because those battles can be costly. And you only fight the battles if you know you're going to win, or the odds are in favor. If you have to fight a battle and the odds are not in favor, well, then maybe what you've done is you've not preemptively and proactively figured out all the dynamics at play that got you into that situation, and that could be too late. But that's why it's important to start now and work with what you have. Most likely we're not in a situation where it's do or die, and there's things we can do to prevent ourselves from being in a situation where it's do or die. So the key is to focus on that right now and place ourselves in as many situations where it's advantageous, but also in situations that we don't find ourselves in a critical need to fight. Again, if it is to your advantage, make a move forward. If it's not, stay where you are. One of my favorite sayings that I got when I was 24 years old from a very successful entrepreneur who was around that age, very successful. He said, "When in doubt, do nothing." And I've been reflecting upon that for many years. When in doubt, do nothing. And over the years, I tend to implement it more and more. And the reason why it took me so long to internalize it is because when you hear a very simple statement like that, oftentimes we overthink it and we add more complexity to it, and then we don't end up doing it. But then as you move up to higher levels and you can handle a higher level of complexity, you place yourself in different environments, you study these philosophies and you see how they work in the world and so forth, you realize that those very simplistic truths are oftentimes the way to go. So when you're in doubt, there's probably some aspect of whatever it is that you want to do that you're not analyzing or figuring out or being aware of, that essentially if you execute on it, it's not going to result in a favorable outcome. So what I try to do is I try to place myself in as many situations that if I execute upon them, there's no doubt. But if there is a doubt, I don't execute upon it, because in any given moment of time, you can either go left or right. Okay? You're right now listening to this, you can stop and do something else, or you can do something outside of whatever else you were going to do. There's a few choices that you can make, but each of those choices have a trickle effect of other choices and so forth. So there's no point in doubting something and sitting on that doubt, because it just burns the mental resources. Instead, it's better to be analytical about it and think about what the implications are and so forth, but just simply doubting something and executing upon it when there are things that you can execute upon that have no doubt, that are no-brainers, that will produce a result. Isn't it better to do that? Use of spies. Knowledge of the enemy's dispositions can be obtained from other men, hence the use of spies, of whom there are 5 classes. Local spies. Having local spies means employing the services of the inhabitants of a district. Inward spies. Having inward spies, making use of officials of the enemy. Converted spies. Having converted spies, getting hold of the enemy's spies and using them for your own purpose. Doom spies. Having doom spies, doing things openly for purposes of deception and allowing our spies to know of them and report them to the enemy. Surviving spies. Surviving spies, finally, are those who bring back news from the enemy's camp. So, different kinds of spies, and the spies essentially is designed to help you understand the enemy. Again, know yourself and know your enemy. You have to know yourself and you have to know who you're up against. Now, there's also the enemy within yourself, and figure out some creative ways to infiltrate the enemy within yourself, which is your own ego. Study yourself, and then study your external world. That's how you know yourself, that's how you know your external world. That's how you know the people, because just as we go back to the beginning of the book, all warfare is fought on deception. So that means most likely you're being deceived by the people in front of you. And again, it's not about being paranoid, but rather being objective and focused and aware that these dynamics exist and it's a way of life. And if you want to rise up to higher levels of success, or you want to play in environments where there's high amounts of competition, understand that this stuff is being used. Don't be in denial about it, and then figure out ways to work with it so you can come out advantageous. The enemy spies who have come to spy on us must be sought out, tempted with bribes, led away, and comfortably housed. They will become converted spies and available for our own service. So again, know, just as you are deploying methodologies to research your competition, other people are doing the same to you. And there's many different ways of working with the people that they send to you so that they can give them misinformation or give you information from your competitors and so forth. Hope you enjoyed this video. There's a lot of information contained within this book, and I'm not doing it any justice by just sharing these high-level